As always, you can support this show at patreon.com/Night Attack. Get access to the pre-show and the post-show many days before they go to everyone else. And also, if you're looking for a new computer, go to doghousesystems.com/V/rogue. Use promo code ROGUE at checkout, get a free SSD. Let's start the show!
Yeah! Hello, you beautiful bastards, you demon hordes of the internet. It is Tuesday night, and it's time to light this motherfucker right on fire. You beautiful people, I'm Brian Brushwood, live from the newly minted Diamond Club Studios, deep in the heart of the 7-acre Schwood, located smack dab on the Austin city limits. Joined as always by my BFF and Noah K is JRY. You keep making it back to Oakland, man. You're not jet setting all over the place, scooping up them boats. That's the thing you do, right?
I mean, I am. The problem is I can't do. We do the show on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Most of the primaries are on Tuesdays, so either we have to move the show, or it's not on Tuesdays and I can make it back for the show because I'm trying to be a professional.
We've gotten a lot better at getting flexible. Like just saying, like, do you remember 10 years ago the thought of like, could we just do it on Wednesday? We'd be all like, oh Jesus, oh God.
I mean, also though, like the reason why we would want to move it from Tuesday 10 years ago was like, I'm tired. Like we're now like, I feel like we've got a standard here. We've been doing it for a decade. And now it's like, oh, okay, well, you know, the New Hampshire primary is happening and I'm live on the scene. So let's move it a week.
Yeah, well, and it wasn't just that we were tired, but it was like there would be gigs. Like I'd be like, okay, we'll set it up, and I'll wrap that up. I'll come running over, and then we'll get live, and we'll continue the spirit. And because I think it was like a year and change into NSFW where there was a big like, oh my God, it's finally time. How are we going to handle this one? This is a conflict we can't massage over. And then we pre-recorded an episode, and we felt like we had discovered fire. We were like cavemen. We're like, you can do it in advance. And the audience at the time was weirdly not pleased. Like, no. They thought it was an affront.
At that point, we were still primarily a live stream, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that was like the thing that we were a live stream that got picked up by a tech network. And then like the podcast was this weird outgrowth of it. And now the podcast is obviously the primary way that people interact. So,
I've got news update because it's been 20 minutes since we've talked about Brian's fitness. I don't know if I ever told you, I quit the old gym. Like it finally was like, not going. I don't take the kids. The gym was like 24 minutes away, but we went there because it had a kids center that was so good we could take the kids and all that. And then
wait a minute. Come on. Number one, you are underselling. Okay.
Oh,
because
how good that gym is.
Went to when I was in Austin for whatever the last time I was in Austin for, and I was on a like, no. You want to know what? This is the time that I'm working out while I'm on the road. I'm setting a good example for myself. I know Brian is fitness motivated. I'm going to go to Brian. He's going to be my fitness brother. And I'm going to be like, Brian, we're fitness friends. Give me a pass to your gym. And so I did. And I went out there and I worked out every time. And when I pulled up into your gym, I did not see a kids center. Because what you might think, dear listener, is maybe a mere Burger King kids club, right? Like some slides and maybe a ball pit. No. This was a full, and I shit you not, water park.
Yes.
There is a water park. A water park at the gym. This is not a kids center.
And then this is just the shit you see from the outside. And then we take the kid in, and it's a goddamn Apple store. It's fucking like it's their editing bays all the way around. They got the kids like cutting together YouTube videos and stuff.
It's insane. insane. It is an insane facility. It's a crazy large gym. Like there's all sorts of crazy crap going on. But yes, indeed, there's a water park. But I will say this. I agree with you, Brian. Bit of a trek, and you also pass, very unfortunately, like 3 to 4 gyms on the way. Like you're passing gigantic gyms as you are going to this other massive. This is like some real Texas shit, folks. like this is like you're passing several of the biggest gyms you've ever seen in your life, so you can get to this gym you can see from space.
I believe the number of gyms you had to pass to get to that gym was 4. And then they built a gym literally across the street, at which point it became 5. And so, now keep in mind, because remember, I was doing the personal trainer, I was doing the weight training and stuff, and I was getting swole. But then all the money ran out, and I was like, no, we're stopping this. And then once we stopped that, I stopped having an excuse to go to that gym, and that gym is all the money in the world. And then and so finally, it's like cut that off. And so I'm like, I'm just going to focus on diet for a while. So I've lost 18 pounds. I'm pretty sure most of it is muscle over the last 6 months. But finally, it's like, okay, it's time. You got that gym across the street. It's time to get started. So one day I wake up Friday morning and I'm like, I'm just going to go do it. And I went and I signed up, and I go in. I'm like, hey, I would like to sign up because all I want to do is use your bike machine and occasionally lift weights. I'll bet you have a bunch of incentives. I would like to hear about none of them and just buy the thing. I will pre-buy, give me whatever the rate is for 6 months. And then and they're like, great. And I'm like, that is it. And I would like to hear nothing else. And then the guy.
You sound like a delight to see in the morning.
I'm the Ron Swanson of signing up for gyms.
No, this is literally like when I used to work at the Go Game, John Teasdale had the move, because you hear the rental car pitch so many times, right? That you just know that the speech tree is the same for all of them. And so Teasdale had memorized it, and he had his own script where he would just walk up to the counter and just be like, hello, my name is John Teasdale. I have a reservation. I would not like insurance, and I would not like an upgrade. Here are my documents. Give me my keys. Thank you. And then just stare uncomfortably as they go, but here are your keys.
Yeah, the only thing you left out that I could think of is I'll bring it back full. You always got to say that too.
There we go. Yes, and I'll bring it back full. You're right.
But so I sign up and get on the bike, play a little Hearthstone for an hour. Like, look at me, I did it in the gym. Flash forward to 21 days later. It is February 14th, a Friday. And I get a phone call, and dude says, hey, it's so-and-so from the gym across the street. I'm like, yeah, great. What's up? And he's like, well, I'm calling because, you signed up with us 21 days ago, and we just want to know how it's going. And I said, today I found out it's been 21 days since I worked out. And then and the guy does the whole thing of like, well, we just want to make sure you're happy. By the way, this happens to be on Valentine's Day, and you're like, we just want to make sure you're happy. I'm like, yeah, it's great. It's the best gym I never go to. You're great. No, nothing to do. Check me off your list. And he goes, well, happy Valentine's Day. And I said, you're my Valentine. Like the dude the dude realized that he was just making conversation, and then it's happy Memorial Day, happy cookout,
sure. Yeah, happy Arbor Day, right? Happy
all
President's
those
Day.
Very normal, but then happy Valentine's Day, and then he was literally the first person to say that to me that day, and I'm like, you're my Valentine.
And now you have to touch tips. Like, I'm sorry, it's just the rule. It's just the rule of Valentine's Day.
Now every time I work out, I'm gonna stare him right in the eye. I'm gonna find out who it was that made that call. Hey, so one of the things that I really wanted to get caught up on, because I know you're swimming in, you're neck deep in the blood of slain politicians all around you. You are living and breathing this stuff. Can you just fill me in on everything I should know about politics?
Yep.
Because all right. Where do we begin? First of all, I got a question.
No. 'Cause this will all be Q&A.
Okay.
Because I don't even know where to start from my perspective. So you give me what you know about politics and what you want to know.
Okay, so today I loaded up the /r/all feed on Reddit, and the top question with 60,000 upvotes was, those of you who support Mike Bloomberg, why? And the top answer, and you can tell me whether or not there's credibility to it, is somebody said that there's, of all of his friends, there's 3 people: former Republicans who hate Trump, Democrats who just are resigned to the probability that it takes a billionaire to beat a billionaire, and a bunch of people who feel like he's the centrist candidate. And then the person immediately said, also, all of my friends are in their early 30s and a little bit white, so they probably don't care about some of the stop and frisk talk.
Well, yeah, there's that. I mean, so number one, Michael Bloomberg is running one of the most asynchronous campaigns that have ever been run in modern politics. Considering the fact that, like, I literally just did a series about how we went from the convention model to the primary model. The first candidate to kind of do a proof of concept that running in the primaries was something that you would want to do was John F. Kennedy in 1960. Now we're at a point where somebody is trying to slice the primaries in half and say that traditionally the most focused on primaries are not important at all, and really all you need to do is dump $2 billion on all the later primaries. So effectively, the lanes that you talked about are pretty much what you would expect. There are centrists or never Trump Republicans that are like, well, if I'm not a hardcore Second Amendment guy, then I like him more than I like Trump. There are the super, like, Democratic fatalists who are like, literally, I will eat poison and die if it means that Trump gets to never be president again. And then there's people who watch television or YouTube.
Or YouTube. I did not know, as a person who has cut the cord and who has YouTube Premium, man, oh man, if you could tell who's who between, like, if you say the words Mike Bloomberg, their instant visceral pained reaction, whether or not they're watching. Bryce, have you seen a Mike Bloomberg ad yet?
No, and I think I even asked Justin about this in the pre-show last week, of like, he's making apparently all these ad buys, and I know nothing about the man.
Well,
I thought he was the mayor of 9/11, and that wasn't even the right guy.
It wasn't. No, he's not the mayor of 9/11. He was the mayor after 9/11.
He's the mayor of the aftermath of 9/11. He's the mayor of the ashes of 9/11.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, number one, congratulations on your ad blocker. Number two, because there's almost certainly ads being purchased for Texas because it's a Super Tuesday state, and that is his number one target. But we're going to see him debate tomorrow night. Wednesday night, he will debate for theoretically, this is supposed to be for the candidates that are in the Nevada caucus, for which Mike Bloomberg is not a part of, and yet he will be a part of the debate. He will obviously be the focal point of it, and eventually 2 weeks afterward, people will have a chance to vote on him.
Sorry, walk me through that. So somehow he's not eligible for the caucus in Nevada?
He did not announce his candidacy until after the first 4 states, which theoretically are supposed to be the ones that, like, break the backs of all the bullshit
campaigns.
Right. And then we get to Super Tuesday and we really winnow stuff down to like maybe 2 candidates, right? And then they do the rest of the baton death march.
Well, but forgive me, but like in these debates, there's always that moment where it's like, make a 90-second speech, and then it always ends with like, so on this day, make sure to blank. What does he say? So on the big day, make sure to stay home.
Make sure to say, cool. Call your friends in California, Texas, Massachusetts.
Do you realize this is the literal plot of Brewster's Millions? He's
wait a minute.
He's going to spend all his money and tell people to vote for none of the above.
Now that being said, he still has a chance. He's polling fairly well in the national polls, and in all the times that I've watched politics, normally what happens is you look at Iowa, you look at New Hampshire, and no matter what happens, and yes, it might be a little bit of hyperbole because these are states with fairly similar demographics, blah, blah, blah. But the people that are winning in those states or close in those states become the front runners. And there are 2 fairly clearly. Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg, Mayor Pete. Nobody's talking about Mayor Pete at all because there's another centrist that is spending and promises to spend more than anyone has ever spent on a presidential election ever that is waiting in the wings. And so it has totally killed effectively one candidacy. I thought, and I was saying on Twitter, that this seemed like a 2-horse race, and I do feel in my bones that in any other election it would have been, except for the fact that this guy who's not even on the ballot, and more than that, right, there's another billionaire named Tom Steyer who is like, you want to know what? Screw Iowa, screw New Hampshire. There are other media markets in Las Vegas and in South Carolina. I'm going to spend all my money there. And so whatever happens in these early things, I'll make sure that I'm bouncing up when it matters closer to Super Tuesday. Guess because of the DNC's approved polls, who's not going to be on the stage for the Nevada debate?
Oh, dear.
Tom Steyer.
That's not great. Okay. Wow, this is messed up. This is all messed up. Okay, multiple things here. I think it was only in the after show talking to Cargill. Last time we had Cargill on, not last week, but the last time, we had made a stake bet. And oh man, Cargill in the after show last week was fired up and sassy and willing to double down on his stake bet. How does... I thought for sure that stakes were in the bag because Buttigieg was doing well, but Bloomberg was one of his Cargill's picks, right?
Nope.
No, Bloomberg hadn't even announced.
Oh no,
it.
he's screwed. Then.
No,
Cargill's screwed.
He was BBW, Biden, Warren, and Bernie. So he still has Bernie. He's got Bernie. He can do it like Bernie, right? And Bernie has and still continues to be my pick for the nomination that I made a year ago. But right now, understand that also, while all this is happening, Donald Trump is running what is, in my opinion, the most aggressive re-election campaign in my lifetime. He went to Des Moines and ran a stadium so nobody in the Iowa caucus could say that they had a bigger crowd than Trump. And then he went to Manchester, New Hampshire, and did the same thing. Bernie Sanders got 7,000 people in an arena to watch him, the Strokes, and AOC.
Holy cow.
And then Donald Trump packed 11,000 by himself, right? And Mike Pence and, the others.
And also right, go ahead.
And yeah. Now, Bernie Sanders just packed 17,000 into an arena in Tacoma. So he is also doing very, very big crowds. But in Nevada, Donald Trump has a rally on Friday, where he is probably going to pack a gigantic crowd in there. Like this is intensely aggressive because if Bernie does get a bigger crowd than him in one of these places, now he's tremendously exposed. That will be the biggest news story in politics, is that Bernie's got a bigger crowd than Trump. But while Trump is doing it, he can clown everybody else that's there as small potato.
It does really read as the 8th grader who's well into puberty dunking on all the 6th graders who just don't have, the backing of the United States government and Air Force One and the ability.
Let me also just say that the second season of Raise the Dead is going to be about the 1964 election and how much it is similar to the 2020 election. Of course, the 1964 election on the Republican side saw Barry Goldwater being the revolutionary candidate, that it was very big with young people, drew gigantic crowds that all folks said were religious in their excitement. He was challenged by a New York plutocrat by the name of Nelson Rockefeller, and it eventually came down to one big cataclysmic vote in California. Meanwhile, there was LBJ, a man who was dead set on beating his predecessor or the last election's span of how many votes he would win by. I'm just saying, season 2 is going to be pretty fucking good.
Hey man, you know what else is really good is supporting the show. Of course, one way to support the show is if you go to doghousesystems.com/v/rogue. All of our equipment was provided on loan for freezies by our friends over at Doghouse Systems. All we have to do is encourage you guys. Eventually, you're going to buy a computer. Do us a favor. Make sure to use promo code ROGUE at checkout. You'll get something awesome free forever and ever and ever. But most importantly, you'll be helping us work off our debt to our friends who believed in us over at Doghouse Systems.
But you can also head on over to patreon.com/nightattack. That is where you can support this show. Just kick in whatever scratch you have. You get a custom RSS feed. You get the show early. And every single week, Brian, we do a little thing we like to call the...
Keep going. Oh,
Ladies
there we go.
and
Okay.
gentlemen, it's time for the Night Attack new Patreon name chant corner hour.
It's an hour of it. All right, you know the rules. We pick one of you guys at random. All you have to do is be a new pledger or somebody who ups their pledge, and we say thank you and up yours. Now, here's the thing. Some people have tried to game the system by upping their pledge by 1 penny. Ha! Nice. We'll probably make fun of you. Maybe we've already said your name. I don't know. But then you get clever, and you realize, oh, they make fun of people who only up their pledge by 1 penny. So I'm going to be double clever, and I'm going to up my pledge by 2 pennies. Now, you may think that's going to get in our head, and then we're going to fall for it, and you, my friend, would be right. So I'm going to say thank you very much, Neil Fleisch.
Neil Fleisch!
Yes, Neil Fleisch!
Neil Fleisch!
Neil before Fleisch. So also, of course, we're streaming live on Twitch every Tuesday. We like to do a thing where we call out the person who's contributed the most bits and give 1 minute to calling out a bunch of names. Who's our bit boss, Bryce?
The current bit boss is Millamallo with 300 bits. Thank you, Millamallo.
Thank you very much, Millamallo. Hey, man. Sunbun's cool, right?
Hey, I also was hanging out with other people. Those people included Lunar Spork.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I looked over and I saw you hanging out with, wait, what were their names?
Benito Boom Crash. And he was like, booyah. And then he took all his money and just threw it in my face. And I was like, that's filthy, dirty money. I don't know how to feel about it, but I had an erection anyway.
Yeah, Dan 30 said, dude, look at Brian's dick.
Yeah. And then Scoop Gray said, I wish I'd stayed in Australia.
But then, next thing you know, I was thinking about where I was going with my life at the age of 36. And I said to the Lenina, I mean, what the fuck am I doing?
And then Lenina stroked the fake beard he or she was wearing and said, talk to your man, Jeff.
Yeah. And then I said, you know, I don't know what? I should.
Hot beverages. Hey, Bryce, do we have a game this week?
We do have a game this week. We've got a new game for you this time. A new game. This is sent in from Joe. Joe, thank you so much for sending this in. Joe has got a game called What Could Go Wrong? What could go wrong? So this is actually going to be very similar to when we did the flaming shot fails.
Oh, shoot. Okay, so for the uninitiated, we, for a very hot minute, pun intended, we're making a game out of watching flaming shot fail videos. We got to see the first 2 or 3 seconds, and then we had to call out with hilarious, disrespectful names what the nature of the flaming shot fail was.
Right.
And it was really a lot of fun up until we ran out of all the easy pickings, and pretty soon we're watching people
literally
get
every
horribly
flaming shot
disfigured.
I mean, number one, when you're like scraping the barrel trying to find like Greek tragedies, and I mean that because they happened in Athens in like 2004. Flaming shot fails on Meta Cafe. You're like, what am I doing?
Like when all of a sudden we have to evaluate whether or not Molotovs count in flaming shot fails. Like no matter how much you play yakety sax, those are still policemen burning, and it's like, what are you doing?
Right.
So Joe has sent along some clips of videos from the What Could Go Wrong subreddit.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And so
I was on it. I was on it recently. The knife trick made it back on there.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And so what you're going to do, we're going to give you the title of the post, and you'll be able to see sometimes a little, sometimes a lot of the video before we have to stop it, and you'll have to tell us what happens in the video. You just have to describe what could go wrong.
Yeah,
Ready.
baby. All right. So is it me versus Brian, or are we together?
It's going to be you versus Brian.
Ready.
Whoever's
All right, here we
closest
go.
via science will get a point. Most points at the end wins. All right.
Ready.
All right.
Let's go.
So we've got our first one here. This was posted by by user Schlong 12 days ago. So we are going to be able to show you.
The Tom Brokaw of our age.
Also, hey, you want some schlong? I got lots of it. I'm here to sling it.
I got Schlong. So this is what could go wrong when using a real gun in a music video.
God, now I just want to see the parody video where it's just like The Matrix, where he's like, I need dicks, lots of them, and and he's just got a trench coat full of dildos, and then he walks through there, it goes beep beep beep, and he just opens, and it's nothing but cocks, and he's just like da 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 da
And just like in record time, every hole to the security guard, right? Just like totally stuffed.
First his mouth, then both of his eye sockets, his ears.
Yeah, 2 butt plugs in the ear. Like,
All while Propeller Heads is playing in the background.
Yeah.
He slings schlongs by the seashore.
Okay.
anyway,
this
Bryce,
is
what's the video?
And Brian, we'll start with you here. We're going to watch this clip here. What
Oh
could
my
go
God.
wrong?
What could go wrong when using a real gun in a music video? Okay, so what we're seeing right now, what we've seen appears to be a behind-the-scenes shot, like a cell phone video side shot. It looks like the camera is off to the left. You've got somebody wearing a ski mask. You have a bunch of what I assume are members of the rap crew and fans.
I mean, all right. So Brian, I don't know how many modern rap videos you've watched, but this is pretty much like 20% of a modern rap video.
Yeah, I gathered that much. And
this is basically like you are in dress, like while the track is playing in the background, but you're milling around, and maybe at some point somebody kind of looks at the camera a little bit. But this is definitely a moment where I'm assuming. So when you use a real gun in a rap video, the only real gun we're seeing is this. What I'm guessing is an AK in the back, right?
We got
that big banana clip sticking out.
I would speculate that that's not a real gun. I bet that there's a bunch of not real guns, and that one of them had a real gun. And that I think that the character up front and to the left, where the focus is I think he's going to pull out the gun. I think it's going to slip out of his hands, Butterfinger hilarious style, land and fire comedically, and everybody will duck.
You think that makes it on Reddit? I mean, it would have to be a very comedic duck, or somebody gets shot.
But see, getting shot, I feel like. Well, actually, I guess if the knife video was thought to be real and was on What Could Go Wrong, then it would be shot. Mm-hmm. But also, I'm looking at the fact that it only has 323 upvotes, which makes me think it can't be that good. So that makes me suspect that it's, or maybe, man, it might not even go off.
So here we go. You go with dropped gun.
Yeah, dropped gun and duck.
Drops the gun and ducks.
I will go with guy accidentally pulls the trigger on that AK and ducks.
Okay,
because
but both of us seem to feel like nobody actually gets shot.
I don't think anybody gets shot. I think that everybody who looks very, very cool right now,
yes,
looks very cowardly as a gunshot goes off.
I think you and I are on the same page for that, and we'll just diverge on. You think it's the AK is the guilty party. I think somebody pulls out like a Glock or some kind of 9mm.
But
Butterfingers out of the hands.
Someone drops it.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. What could go wrong when using a real gun in a music video?
Hey, don't pass the speaker.
Ooh.
Oh, it was?
It was a real gun going off.
It was the AK? Or whatever. It looks like an Uzi. Or...
It's got like an AK banana clip, but it's definitely like a submachine gun.
Yeah,
of some sort.
I got tricked by the letters AK. That was good psychological warfare, Justin. Mm-hmm. I think science gives that to you.
There we go.
All right, so there we go. That's the What Could Go Wrong game. Justin gets a point on that.
Ready.
All right. Justin, we're going to start with you on this next round. The title is... this is from user Thunderbolt 13 days ago. What could go wrong if I tried to right side up this tank with a tow truck?
So there's an actual tank all tilted, and it's exactly what it sounds like. The only abomination is that it's a vertical video.
All right. I mean, geez, there's only one way that this goes, right? And that's that... The tank falls the other way and the tow truck gets pulled up over ass over tea kettles.
Oh,
right?
This is great because I actually quite literally say the exact opposite, which is it doesn't go the other way. I think it rolls forward and barrels into the tow truck.
Oh, all right. Well, let's see.
All right, locking it in.
All right, there you go. Perfect timing because we're just about to hit the thing. Here it is. What could go wrong if I try to right side up this tank with a tow truck?
Come on, baby.
Shit.
Come on, baby. Nope. Oh, my God. It was literally the third option.
The tank rolls away.
We were both totally wrong. In exactly the tie way. That's amazing.
So instead of it either rolling back and taking over the tow truck or rolling over the tow truck, it literally went on its treads and rolled down a hill, pulling the tow truck
exactly
over.
90 degrees perpendicular.
Oh man, that's so good. I think we do have to give it to Justin because his came true. The tank pulling the tow truck over.
That's true. That's true.
But
he
the
did
tank
have
didn't-
in the war of John Edward versus Sylvia Brown.
Plath.
Not Sylvia Plath. Sylvia Plath was who he contacted.
All right, there we go. That's another point for Justin. Good one. Brian, we're going to start with you on this one.
Okay, ready.
This was cross-posted by James Baker, originally posted by Little Meow XS to r/abrupt chaos. What could go wrong when pouring a beer? What could go wrong when pouring a beer?
Let me see how much we get at the beginning, because it looks like we got some kind of home keg. Okay. Important aspect here. It appears that they have a home keg, like a pony keg, hooked up to what looks like a fish oxygenator pump. So I'm going to guess that you're supposed to, just pump.
It's a pump. That usually gets a pump on the tap. Yeah.
I'm going to guess that this blasts with so much force that the keg leaves the chair. And of course, foam goes everywhere, but it essentially rockets to some degree.
Okay, the keg rockets.
I will agree with you, but this keg has a very clear weld in the center.
You think the keg breaks?
I think the keg breaks.
Oh, this may be a completely homemade keg. Because if you squint, it does look like two.
It looks too small to be a
pots.
keg.
Yeah, it looks like two pots welded together.
Yeah.
And then a fish tank. So they may be bragging about the homemade nature of this keg. Ooh, that's pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think it shatters at its melded point. Yeah.
Okay. So rocket alone doesn't get me there. Really, the point of contention is whether or not the keg splits.
Yeah.
And I'll take the under on that. I'll take the under.
All right, here we go. What could go wrong when pouring a beer?
Really?
They turned it on.
Come on, baby. Come
Is that the tap?
baby.
Oh, it's coming out.
It's done! 100% right, Justin! God damn!
Rock'em sock'em keg robots, baby!
God damn! And
You even got it exactly right how it would pop, because I didn't remember that from when I watched this before the show. It pops at the weld.
Yeah, and it doesn't even, and it did not rocket at all. It didn't go blasting out like I thought it would.
Yeah, it's a pressure cooker.
I mean, top half rocketed, I guess. Wow.
Look at that. Oh my gosh, Justin running away with it. But we are now in our double points section.
Dun dun dun.
By the way, it says that either I am a extraordinarily accurate pessimist
or from Florida.
Like everything I've ever touched has turned to garbage.
All right, here's one. Justin, you're gonna start first on this one. This was posted by user Fuji1024 11 days ago. You're only gonna be able to see just a little. In fact, I'm not even gonna show you any of the clip because the thing happened so early. What could go wrong backflipping off the roof of a car? Justin, can you describe this frame that we're looking at?
Well, this looks like a woman who I would only be able to describe as an Instagram model, who has both of her arms out as if she were a zombie or a gymnast who is about to do some kind of gymnastics. There indeed is a very hot car beneath her bare feet, and she is going to backflip off the roof of the car, but I don't know where the backflip would go, considering she is at the the very front of her toes are touching the top of the
windshield.
The windshield, right?
So here's the trick. I don't see a driver. Originally, I thought the car was going to drive off and she was going to backflip off of it. But there's two clues. One is that there doesn't appear to be a driver, but also there seems to be something like a broom or something leaning against the back of the car that would imply that they didn't set this up to like do a stunt where she's going to backflip off a moving car.
Yeah.
I think I have this one, and I don't mind going first if you want.
Go ahead.
She backflips and lands on that rear window and goes right through it.
Wow. So you think because
it's a fancy ass looking like Porsche looking car
into it. she would. I mean, she would not go right through it.
Oh
Right.
no. She's just it's just gonna be like back and then hopefully she didn't slice herself up.
like she does have WNBA height, but I don't know if that's necessarily.
All right, wait. Where are you feeling?
Then,
Where are
yeah,
you at?
what do you think, Justin?
No, you want to know what? I'm gonna say that maybe this is a weird lighting situation, or somebody is ducking because they want to make it look more impressive. And indeed, the car does take off, and she like just eats it like a pile of just a bag of shit on the ground.
Fuck you, lady.
So some people are saying, apparently I don't know cars. Somebody's saying like, this is a piece of garbage 380Z, and now that I squint, I can see it.
Yeah,
now.
you can see it's a 350.
It's definitely a piece
and the
of
front,
garbage.
like, there's no front bumper
Yeah,
at
that's right. And
all.
I believe the hood is a different color than the rest of the car.
That could be carbon fiber, but
Yeah, I mean, look, it is a car that is meant to go fast. I'm not a gearhead myself, but it does have rims that are probably more expensive than the rest of the vehicle.
I see. All right, so to recap, Brian, your guess is that she does the flip and lands on the rear window going through it.
Yep.
And Justin said you do believe that the car will take off and she eats it.
Yes, and she eats it like a bag of shit.
Like a bag of shit.
Does she hit her head?
I mean, it's a bag of shit,
Oh,
Brian.
yeah,
Like,
no,
you have no
like-
idea.
I want to give you like a bonus point if you're right on whether or not she hits her head.
I'll take that.
Yes. Her head is the
shit
chief
that eats
piece
the
of
bag.
Shit. Yes. Yeah.
All right, here we go. What could go wrong? Like backflipping off the roof of a car. And I think this one does not have audio. And there's a flip.
Oh! Yes!
She landed on her feet on the rear windshield, going directly through it. Brian Brushwood gets it.
Wow. Nailed it. Nailed it.
And Justin does not get any side action because she did not hit on her head either.
No, she didn't. Although I will point out that me making it clear that she has WNBA height was very important when her big ass frame went feet first through that back windshield.
Okay, here's another one where we're only going to be able to see the beginning clip. In fact, we have to just look at the source of video because I believe it's been deleted. What could go wrong if I key my ex's car in broad daylight? Brian, we're starting with you on this one.
I mean, the ex shows up and starts beating her up.
Also, wait, hold on, Brian. Can you please describe this woman's dress?
If you've ever wanted to know what it looked like when a zebrafish was ready for you to fuck it and would like spread its finny legs and show its zebrafish butthole, that's what this dress was designed to look
Wait,
like.
Does that not look like a cat on her ass? Like from
Maybe a
ass
cat's
design
butthole.
Oh, it's a
I don't see it
Doberman.
as
It's a Doberman.
Just zoom
Is it a
in on
Doberman?
that dress butthole.
Wow.
Zoom in on that dress butthole.
I don't know that.
I want to see the tape. Go.
All right, wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Bryce, can we please just put this out on Twitter at Night Attack on Twitter?
At Night Attack Show,
I feel like at Night Attack Show.
That is either a jellyfish, a man-o-war, or a zebrafish looking to get banged, or a cat.
No, that looks like a cat. Although Doberman I can buy, but it looks like a real fat cat.
I facing you, or I can't see anything but the butthole.
Facing.
I can't
No,
see.
enough with you in the butthole. Oh my God.
Maybe.
You're
Oh, you know what?
obsessed with
Actually,
the
hold on.
butthole.
Now that I squint, it does look like a giant ace of spades. This is a release video for the newest deck of cards from Illusionist. Calling it. Lock it in.
I mean, all right. Let's zoom in on her ass and
That's
let's
big
put that
old-
up on at Night Attack Show. What do you see? Just what do you see?
I do. What do you see? Hashtag the.
What do you see on this woman's butt?
The dress 2020. Yes. This is the real dress.
The dress 2020? Hashtag Laurel Yanny.
Laurel
Yanny.
Yanny. There you go.
All right, good work,
There
everybody.
we go. Misspelled this. Fuck it. Who cares?
Oops, that's how we know it's a joke. Okay.
Whatever.
So the woman and the dress butt. So I cannot show you much.
It looks like a fat ass cat. I'm just all right. We'll move on, but that's all I'm saying.
But
All right. So Brian, we're gonna start with you. And remember,
Oh, you know what?
science
Hold on,
rewards
hold on.
specificity.
Looking at that butthole, if I pretend it's Grumpy Cat, then I can see it with those white cheeks.
It looks very big,
This
fat
is
cat cheeks.
This is the new duck rabbit illusion. If you squint, it can look like Grumpy Cat, or it can look like Grumpy Cat's big old butthole.
I still say it looks like a Doberman with the ears. The ears go up.
Oh, the ears. I
ears.
wasn't even looking at the ears. That makes sense.
And now, hold on. Yeah, okay. It
But,
almost looks like
there's a white tummy. What Doberman has a white tummy?
Or maybe like a Siberian Husky or something. Then I don't know, some sort of Husky Doberman mix.
man. And now
We're
I
gonna
squint.
find out. We're gonna find out on
Okay,
Twitter.
All right. Look, the point is, she's keying the car, and then all of a sudden, somebody comes in and starts swatting at her, beating her up.
Someone
Trying to
attacks
beat her
her.
up. Yeah, so she is attacked.
All right, Justin, what do you think happens?
People in the chat are like, "Oh my God, now I do see the cat."
I think that she realizes that this kind of aggression and anger is not productive, and she slowly starts to realize and make some real decisions in her life that will benefit her in the long run. I feel like this is a 30-minute video of self-discovery where she realizes that all the decisions are her own and she needs to own them.
Realize she okay, there you go. Realizes the errors of her ways and makes good lifelong decisions.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, let's take a look. Let me see.
Oh wait, hold on. Wait a minute. And then she does a Knight Rider.
All right.
Oh man, chat's got a good idea. They say awful lot of people saying wrong car. That's the payoff. Is so that would be the chat's.
Well, that's an idea.
All right, here we go.
I believe there is not audio on this.
Okay.
one. All right.
Yeah.
Well, so someone came up and jumped, kind of bumped into her.
God.
Goes to her car, jumps on the windshield, dents it, breaks in the sunroof, and presumably the back windshield too.
Okay.
And then jets.
That's so close to a Knight Rider. The dude definitely ran out of frame and ran to a car. If only he had driven her car away.
Yeah.
But he just smashed all of her stuff. Oh
and
my God.
By the way, like not since Finn Balor have we seen such double stomps. Like these are vicious.
And he
vicious double stomps.
he jumps through the sunroof in a very awkward way and recovers quickly.
Yeah, well, he perfectly nails smashing the window with a stomp, and
Right.
then
He jumps into the sunroof. Maybe he couldn't tell that it was open already, so there's nothing to
that
smash.
definitely broke.
Oh, no, yeah, no, he's
and
not.
then-
No. He shatters out the sunroof and then leaps up as if in rhythm, so he can leap again into the back window. This is insane.
Totally unfazed. The only moment that lacked perfect grace and style was his dismount after the perfect trifecta of also smashing her back window exactly
No
like the
shit,
backflip
right?
girl.
By the way, like this is Honda level car demolition. Like he has done wild damage on this car.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Very good. And he does in fact bump into her at the beginning. So Brian, you're gonna
Okay,
get
no,
your
but
2
seriously,
points.
back up and watch the dress. Do we get any clues about the
Yeah.
dress during this?
So she. Oh, let's see. There we can get a little
It
bit of a look
doesn't
at the
look like a
front.
cat, except for that first frame where
Yeah.
you see it.
Yeah, okay.
But you can see the cat when she turns around again.
I see the butthole.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right,
All right,
so
that's,
who gets points?
That's 2 points to Brian. There we go. Now this is a
Yay!
4-3 game. Still anybody's game in our double point section.
Hold on, let me check hashtag the dress 2020.
Yes, please check that while Justin takes a look at this next pick. This is oh, here we go. I'll just leap over this fresh paint. What could go wrong? All right, so you're gonna give you about a couple of seconds here of this.
Sorry, I was
Justin-
checking hashtags. Go back.
Yeah. Here we go. Justin, can you describe kind of the situation we're in?
All right, so a dude is on what looks like the inside of a warehouse wall. The warehouse floor has been freshly painted, but he wants to parkour his way in an awkward and an admittedly awkward jump from
Left
the
hand is on
inside
the
of the
railing.
wall. Yeah.
It looks like right hand is on one of the I-beams. Left hand is on the railing that the garage door should go down. Right foot is on a railing. Left foot, it looks like he's barefoot or...
No, he's got work boots.
Okay, he's got shoes on. He's got work boots on. And it looks like his goal is to just kind of swing around and dismount on the outside, avoiding all the wet paint on the floor.
He wants to swing around.
I think that there is only one option here, and that is he indeed clears the freshly laid paint, only to land perfectly in a Charlie Chaplin slapstick a splash zone of where the tray of paint that the roller was applicating from now splashes up all over him. I feel like
so
that's the move.
There has to be a point, because I agree 100%. We have to find something to disagree about. So I'll add the bonus multiplier of after that happens, he falls back comically in Snow Angels on the exact thing he was trying to save.
Oh,
the wet
and
paint
then
on
he
the
hits
floor.
The back. That's a good.
Oh.
And then a dude comes in and double stomps him
In the nuts.
in the nuts, and it breaks through his nuts, and he jumps up in rhythm and steps on his face.
All right. There we go. All right, let's take a look at this clip. I'll just sleep over this fresh paint. What could go wrong? I believe there's no sound. So he's jimmied up against the door here. He's trying to figure
coming
out.
around.
Oh, he lands it.
Oh, whoa. He lands totally clear of both the
Wow.
wet paint and Chekhov's
tray.
paint tray.
Yeah.
And the paint tray. Holy shit! So nobody's right.
But he appears to be head first barreling towards the open door, like exactly on the edge of the open door of the van in front of him. Oh, God.
Oh my god!
He
Oh my god!
He smashes right into the brake light and it shatters on his head.
It looks like blood for a split
It
second.
looks like blood. Yes. Oh my! I thought it was blood.
I thought it was like a cartoon blood, like somebody comedically on their Instagram added a bit
Put
of
a sticker on it.
animation to it to color it up. Oh my God,
And-
that's amazing.
And he does land on the ground and his arm sort of makes his way into the fresh paint. So we are going to give Brian the extra point on that one.
Wow.
We're going to give Brian the game on
He
that
does end up in the paint. He does end up in the paint.
Wow.
That is a man who is going hard in the paint.
one.
Man, just when you think nothing on the internet can surprise you, like I would say pretty good surprise.
No, because by the way, I like every once in a while you see some violence that looks cartoony, especially on the internet.
Oh,
right?
sure,
Like,
sure.
If you're fucking around looking at violence on the internet, eventually some shit looks like Looney Tunes. Like I thought that was just like that dude just hitting his head in a way that sprayed some crazy ass blood.
Well, and we had decided that was an open van door, which had us primed for a head-splitting bonkaroo.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Very good. That's so good. And we're going to have a link to the doc with all of these in the show notes, or we'll tweet it also at Night Attack Show on Twitter. So if you want to...
So good.
Watch
No.
these.
All these are well worth your afternoon.
All right, the current score, Justin still has 3 points. Brian now has 6 points. We are going into our triple point section.
Oh no! Just when I thought I was getting ahead, now we're in triple jeopardy. Trademark.
Still
Yeah,
anybody's
baby.
game. This is trademark. Brian, we're going to start with you.
Ready?
This one is entitled No One Expected This, posted by Sylvie 12 days ago.
A dick. And by the way, everybody expected this.
So let's see. We can show you a good little bit of this. What is that? Who is this
Okay,
man?
we got a top naked dude. Oh dear. Okay, pause. Apparently, all naked dude. You see a dude pop a cigarette into his mouth. Hold on.
Ooh,
Wait, we see a dude pop a cigarette into his mouth, stand up, walk away from the camera, butt ass naked. They censor out his butt, but I'm gonna guess that he didn't know. No. Oh my God.
All right. Bryce, let me ask you. good first date. You see this video, and then he texts, "What are we doing next weekend?" Are you texting back?
Hell no, hell no. He looks all clammy. He looks shiny and sweaty. Like he's I don't even know. He's got the McPoyle haircut.
Yes,
He does have the McPoyle haircut.
And the censor bar blocks out a lot, but it doesn't look like he's got much of an ass. So,
Okay, I think the real.
Bryce needs the round apple.
really. So that's kind of my take on this man.
I've got it.
Okay.
My guess is he did not know he was still broadcasting live on whatever service or whatever the connection was. I think he turns around and he is still wearing the fleshlight. I think that he's got a male sex device that he's fully in, and nobody expected that. Well, I guess you would if he was naked.
Such a good call. That is such a good call. Although I'm gonna go slightly different. We see what seems to be an open window behind him. I believe that a bird is gonna fly in and hit him right in the face.
Oh my God! I thought he was gonna trip and fall out the window, but this is a bird coming in and attacking him. Is even, God.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know a way to hedge on this because I just believe that this is open window related. But I feel like what I want to happen is a bird to fly in, right into.
All right,
his head.
so I would say to reduce
by the way, this is 18K on the upvotes. Like, so this is special.
Whatever it is has to be a good surprise. So I guess we're boiling down to Justin says it's Chekhov's window. I say it's Chekhov's crotch.
Yes, yeah. You say that it is pocket pussy.
Yeah,
There we go. All right, there we go.
Which, by the way, like, now granted, I have not been a regular user of a pocket pussy, but I don't know if it is regular discourse with that particular item that you just leave it hanging.
Well,
I think you would maybe not want.
I mean, they may be mid, discussion, whatever this moment is.
Sure.
Yeah, because like he's definitely going for a smoke, and he's leaving in your version. He's leaving it jingling and jangling.
Yeah, and like maybe the person doesn't know. I don't know. Here, let's find out.
Let's take a look. No one expected this.
Light up a cigarette. Get ready. You're about to stand up with your naked ass showing. Walk towards the window.
Over to the window.
Fall out. Leaning out the window. Lighting. He's gonna slide. He's gonna fall the hell out.
He's leaning out.
Bird, get it,
He's
bird.
leaning out.
Bird. Oh my God!
I get credit for animal. I get credit for animal interference.
You get all the credit because a dog comes up, sticks its cold ass nose right up in his nether crack. Dude freaks and pulls the fuck out the window. You got both. You got both of your wishes.
I tried to look into.
By the way, that dog with the forbidden boop.
Don't boop this snoot.
Oh my God. For the record, look, I was on the fence on whether or not anyone needed to spend their time watching these. This one is, if you only see one video.
You got it, folks.
This winter on the internet. If you
Oh
only
my
see one
God.
video. All right. Hey, that brings the score to 6-6.
Hey-o.
And we are now in our 4-point final round. So it is incredibly anybody's game.
Yeah, but like legitimately, without us fudging the numbers.
So we're fudging so far.
Oh my God, Aphex with the nice pooper, dude. Going back.
Taking us back.
This was posted by user Thunderbolt 9 days ago. It's called Nailed It. We're just going to show you this frame. I need one of you to describe this frame in as literary of detail as you possibly
Okay,
can.
well, first of all, it looks like LA area, or maybe Miami. Lots of palm trees.
Palm trees.
It looks like it's maybe at. It's definitely at a skate park because you can see part of a half pipe off to the left, and you can see a bunch of people cozying up, probably drinking the Gatorade or the Powerades or whatever sponsoring this Red Bull event. Dude wearing. Probably Red Bull would sponsor a Red Bull event. Is that a Packers shirt? What is that? Can you tell what team that is?
I mean, no. That looks like the Mighty Ducks, like the way that you would imagine, like the old school movie version of the OG Mighty Ducks. It's a hockey jersey, yellow trim, forest green. In the rest of the jersey,
he appears to be wearing pretty much the exact armor from that attack night, the night attack night that Might Attack Night Attack wore. But
before we neutered him,
it looks like there's an alteration on the helmet. I can't tell if that's quite a football helmet, but it definitely has kind of a hockey goalie grid on the face mask.
No. That would be another period appropriate great face on that would come down on a medieval helmet. There's mail down through the back in like the mullet region. There is mail there, and then obviously
I guess we're leaving out the obvious part.
Yes, I think we're
a dude, a skinny white dude with a beard and a ball cap is in a Vans shirt, is mid-wielding a skateboard at the knight's head, which makes me believe that if the title is Nailed It and it's at under 2,000 upvotes, that this is an instant justice scenario. And we're seeing.
Damn it!
I think the dude cracks him on the head, bops him back immediately. Dude goes out cold, just laid out.
Yeah. So I mean, but what this looks like from the frame is that, as Triple H would do to The Rock, there is a bludgeon to the head situation. But this man has a skateboard to a knight's helm. But Brian, I don't even know how to differentiate. I feel like you nailed it.
I guess
exactly. I mean, would you?
Do you think dude goes out cold? Would you object that we walk hand in hand into the sun on this one? You know what? I saw this movie. The only winning move is not to play.
Oh, no!
We have to learn the futility of this endless battle between Bright and the Gerbs. We stand united in our belief that this is an instant justice video.
Yes, we shall overcome. Play the video.
Nailed it. All right, so far, what's happened?
So far, he test bonked him twice and gave him a third one and kind of backed away. And it looks like, and you hear the crowd kind of tauntingly say, "Oh!" And
So now, what I would imagine is that obviously this is a skate festival. You got a bunch of skate folks, and if you are a skater, then you know that the weakest point in the board is the center. People break their boards all the time. This is obviously a very hard surface, so it is up to this dude to crack him as hard as he can right in the center of the board, and people are kind of starting to give him shit for it.
Funny thing about the center of the board, not only is it the weakest, also the springiest. Let's see what happens.
All right.
Oh, wow! He didn't even.
On the inswing, he hits himself in the back of the head with the trucks.
He doesn't even get it on the guy. That's amazing. Oh my God! But there's like a comic clanging sound. Oh God!
I don't even know how that happens.
Yeah.
He catches himself on the trucks on the upswing.
Okay, so here's what it is. He's got it kind of this last time down on his back, and what he's trying to do is just slink it right over his shoulder and just whip crack it on the dude's face.
He keeps it loose.
Yeah.
Quack, 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 quack.
Brian and Justin with 10 points.
Oh, there is a rope there that it snagged on. Is that what it was? It snagged on that rope.
No, it.
Oh.
Look at that.
No, wait, it beans him right in the head.
Well, I did, but it snagged. See, that's what happened.
That's what it was.
He reeled back and it snagged on the rope swing. Oh wait, hold on.
Yeah,
This
it
was a
does, 'cause
prank.
then that guy-
It looks like the dude is holding the rope and intentionally ensnared him.
Oh.
Oh my God,
he
it's
got
Skate
got.
Gazi.
He got.
We're Zaprudering this clip.
Oh my God.
So yeah, he does.
I think now the question is.
It's kind of high up. It's next to this kind of Jersey wall metal barrier.
Here's what I think it is I think this was a border rope, and dude was politely kind of holding it off to the side, so the guy could shenanigan
Get
around
in or
with
whatever.
it.
Yeah.
And then it caught on it, and he bonked himself on the upswing. Oh,
wowzers.
that's good.
Wowzers. All right, with your communism play at the end of the game, you both have got 10 points.
Yay!
Everyone wins.
Insert scoop name.
Hey, by the way, Bryce, not me, us.
Us. That's right. That's right. Feel the burn, everybody. Yeah.
And
Very.
you know what? We're gonna split our points according to our ability and split them according to our need. And we perceive that you need 2 of our 10 points apiece. We think this is a fair and equitable split. It's what's right for the peoples of the Night Attack Republic.
Thank you again to Joe for this game. If you've got a game you would like us to play on the show, send it into mail@nightattack.tv. That's right. Email us, mail, MAIL, @nightattack.tv, and we might play it like Joe's game.
Yeah. Hey, man, let's jump into a little bit of Diamond Time.
Diamond Time is where you can shout out your project right here on the show. diamondclub.reddit.com or reddit.com/r/diamondclub. Sticky post right there at the top of the page. Top 3 posts get read. The top one is TV's Travis. It's the final week of the Kickstarter for Get in the Game, an anthology of 10 different 8-page comics with the theme of video games. They are so close to the goal. Let's see if we can push it over the line. That is, go to Kickstarter and search for Get in the Game.
Because apparently somebody hasn't listened enough to remember that you should have a readable URL. kck.st/336 capital E capital N 8 capital G.
You want to know what? You want to know what? No, don't even.
Okay.
No. Just
Well, he
go
already
there.
did it. He got the whole thing out.
Yeah.
So Maya Lee the Flow writes, "Hey Diamond Club, lately I've been rewatching the Modern Rogue and King of Random videos, new and old, laughing and crying watching Grant do his thing. In case some of you aren't aware, Grant was writing a book, which unfortunately he only 90% finished, but his team got together and took it that last 10%. 52 random weekend projects for budding inventors and backyard builders is available for pre-order right now on Amazon. Let's help keep his legacy alive and have some fun while we're at it." Yes. For those of you guys who don't know, the nonfiction book launch market is a fairly soft target for a little thing called the New York Times bestseller list. This is a huge deal. Pre-orders are the pulling back of the rubber band that snaps on release day. As you guys know, King of Random founder Grant Thompson died in a terrible accident. We found out thanks to a text that was bravely sent to us by a producer who refused to tell me to my face live before we went on the air. But the sorry. But here's the thing: is it would be great for his legacy for this to debut at #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. And it's important because not so much for this book. This book, of course, deserves it. It'll be great for the king to get his crown. But there is a team that is still keeping this thing alive. And if this launches as a #1 New York Times bestseller, then that means the publisher is highly motivated for the team to be able to continue to make books out of the projects that they had. This is a legacy moment. If you've ever enjoyed anything on the Modern Rogue, if you've ever enjoyed anything on the King of Random, if you want to support independent creators, especially those who deal with a tragedy handed in their lap the way this family and this team did, please pre-order this book, and don't just pre-order it for yourself. Talk to a loved one, talk to a friend, get them to pre-order it as well. Every single one matters. You will not believe how much a difference just one pre-order makes for these things. So please do that.
Yeah. Folks, these things are decided not in millions, not in hundreds of thousands, not in thousands, but in hundreds. Like, you matter in a gigantic way that you don't realize. All right, let's pull back the curtain. Books are a sham, and the New York Times bestseller list is a very manipulatable thing that you need to be at a certain level, and they are obviously there. This is obviously something that is going to touch a lot of people. The King of Random was a very, very big channel. There's a reason to. It is a good reason. Sally forth.
Yeah. Also, I don't know. This is a weird thing that I don't know if I should disclose or not. I've been in touch with Grant's family and talking about this very project. I didn't know that it's already time for it to launch, but I talked about everything I just said to you. I said to Grant's family, and I implored them to be very judicious and to make sure that this launch is very well coordinated. And in fact, thanks to reading this tomorrow, I know I have to call and find out how everything's going. But please, I think it's only like $10 or something ridiculous. It's super.
Go. Like, I mean, this is $10 worth it for independent creators. You guys know that, like, that is a thing that we give a fuck about, and we know you guys give a fuck about because you're here. Support a real one.
Right.
Also, Lord Gasmic writes, "Hello, Diamond Club. I was watching last week's pre-show. Bryce and Brian were having some fun with Talk to Transformer using lines from Poe and Styx. Gave me the idea. We should use this to create the next Diamond Club book. Start with something prophetic and then keep the output to generate the rest of the story. Then every couple of paragraphs, something original to try to keep it generating good stuff. I wish I had the time to organize this, but I'm hoping one of you has the power to see it through.
Well, okay.
Anyway, see you later."
Okay, well, a couple of problems with that, chief among which is Amazon Terms of Service specifically, deliberately, and precisely prohibit exactly what you just described. Because believe it or not, you're not the first person to think, "Oh, I have a robot read a book. It'll be great." So instead, if you don't mind, Justin, I'm going to give the third slot, not to this idea, but instead to mention, to call out for the second time in the pre-show, we totally spaced on showing ICUs last time on Night Attack Gem. If you guys haven't seen these, it's usually upvoted in the subreddit. It's really, really great. He takes a bunch of best of moments from the previous week and puts it in there. Next time, I promise, ICU, we'll make sure to in fact, we'll watch the whole thing in the after show so we can remember last week.
I mean, I will say this. If those can get under 30 seconds, maybe even 20 seconds,
they could be a little thing.
Maybe they're a little thing that we play at the beginning of each episode, if you know what I mean.
I'm just saying. Of course, make sure to hit us up, diamondclub.reddit.com. We'll shout out your projects. There's no more Movie Draft Minute, right? We got through all that. So that means we can go right into checking out our mail sacks. Mail sack.
Join us for drinks in the Diamond Club.
In the Diamond Club. That sounds grand.
Super grand. This is the part of the show where we read your emails that you sent in to mail@nightattack.tv, like this one that we just got from Renaigu. They write, "Hi, it's Renaigu from the chat realm." The subject line for this was "My Diamond Club origin story." We've had for months now people sending in how they found out about the podcast, and so we got a new one here from Renaigu. People had been sending in their Diamond Club origin stories, so here's mine. As you might know, I'm a filthy European, and no, I don't know T2T2 personally. I reside in the Netherlands, so being part of this mostly America-centric community is quite the detour. I was a regular Scam School watcher since probably 2010 because of my interest in magic mechanics. I think Brian called it the academic magician. I respected the artistic side, but the entertainment for me came from trying to figure out the trick. One day I was watching some Scam School when I noticed what I perceived as a professional audience audio studio with the high quality mic and the soundproofing and such. I was getting into podcasts around that time, probably summer 2015, so I thought, man, would it be cool if this dude had a podcast? I look it up, put Night Attack number 81, DragonCon 2015 into my queue, and listened a few days later while bicycling. I remember having a few laughs, but as a whole, the podcast didn't stick, and I didn't make it a regular listen.
Hold on. Look, man, we're aware. We're an acquired taste. Sometimes, you know what else? Very expensive cheeses sometimes taste like socks. It's fine.
Hey, by the way, a regular and understood experience to our product.
For some reason, I started listening again at number 88, and for some reason, that hooked me. I think it took a few months before I found out about the live stream and made watching that a regular thing once I fell into a period of mild, not quite, but nearly depression when my sleep cycle was wrecked anyway. Soon after, I think from episode 120 or so, I participated in the chat more, and then all the things escalated. I think that the Diamond Club was a minor but considerable factor in recovering from that darker period and helped me through difficult times later as well. Keep up the good work. Renaigu. Thank you, Renaigu. That's very sweet.
Dude, that's so awesome. It's interesting because we've talked before about the difference between community-focused content in which you lean on all of your in-jokes, and it's like, hey, man, if you don't get it, then whatever, get bent. The downside of that is that sometimes people download it and they're like, what's all these in-jokes?
No idea what is going
then they
on.
turn around and they go away. But of course, if you do the reverse, if you do only outward-facing content, then you don't have any nucleus, you don't have any hub that holds everything together. So I'm gonna mark this down as a win, Justin, for striking a balance.
I mean, when it comes to Renaigu, who has been such an amazing part of our community for so long. In fact, you want to know what? That's it. Brian,
Yeah.
it's decided.
Oh, I'm glad, because we've been really on the fence about this for a long time.
Really
It's
know.
a cat's butthole.
You want to know what? In celebration of me agreeing with you that it's a cat's butthole, I'm going out to Amsterdam to meet Renaigu
Oh,
for
TwitchCon Europe this year.
Man,
wow.
that's how dedicated we are to our fans. You
That's
mentioned that
it.
you're in Europe. We're like, where is it, man? Just let me book a ticket.
Let me also go to Europe.
So there we go. Meet me there, or it's your fault.
There we go. All right, we got another one from Joe. This is the same Joe who wrote our game today, so we're gonna get you double Joe action. Joe. Greetings, Mike.
Jojo Rabbit. By the way, have you seen it yet?
Nah, I just saw Parasite, which I maintain should be renamed for English audiences. This scamming ass family.
Our letter from Joe writes, I'm finding myself traveling more and more for work throughout Kentucky. I'm finding myself in small towns, closing down the bars at Applebee's and other chain restaurants because I don't want to be stuck in a Hampton Inn hotel room, and my wife has a real job and goes to bed early. As former road warriors, do you have suggestions for improving my off-time game? I'm okay staying out drinking with other professionals, but the bar at Cheddar's is kind of depressing at midnight. My pocketbook would probably appreciate not staying out drinking. For the record, I'm 42 and don't play Hearthstone. Joe.
Okay, wow, somebody cut that one off real fast.
Well, because number one, have you considered playing Hearthstone?
By the way, before we answer the question, guess who's playing Hearthstone?
No.
One of your offspring?
Maybe.
No.
If you place your bets. Who's playing Hearthstone of my offspring?
I mean, like,
No,
all right,
Penny.
so
I think.
no, I mean, you would think Penny, right? Because Penny is like nerdy, but
Oh, by the way,
I
I
think-
don't know if you saw the news, but it's official canon. I'm going to spoiler alert. Reno Jackson is secretly a dragon. Did you know that? That was a fan theory
Oh,
that became
yeah,
canon.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Josie because I think that Josie is like, she's not walking her own path. She's like, oh no, big sister walked her own path. I'm gonna pay attention to dad a little bit more. Oh wait, Hearthstone's dank.
All right, so Bryce, you say Penny?
Yeah, I think Penny, because Penny, like Hearthstone, you have to like. I don't know a lot about Josie. I guess I know a little more about Penny, but I think if Penny found something she really liked, that's a sort of game where there's a lot of depth to it and a little bit of a learning curve. So I think if she liked it, she would kind of lean into the nature of it.
As a firstborn, there's plenty of like all the shit that my parents were into, I got into like a decade later because I was too busy saying fuck you to them to like understand the nuances. I feel like Josie is it.
Gentlemen, you've locked in your answers as determined by magic.
Yeah.
The answer is Callie.
What? Isn't she 6?
She is 7 years old.
Wow.
And has already done all the tutorials and was bawling, crying because BattleNet wouldn't register her and she couldn't start playing the real games on the record. And she was so upset that she had to redo the tutorial and she lost all her cards from the first time.
Would you get the same cards?
Well, but she had to go through the tutorial again to get there.
It's a good tutorial.
It is.
Wow.
It is.
That's crazy. I would not have.
Also, she's totally grokking the game. Like this last time, she's like, if I do that, then that guy will live and that guy will die. And then she goes, ah, ha, ha. And then she'll laugh at the comments and stuff.
I guess, I mean, you said she's 7, right? That's the age when you start to know how to do stuff.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Math.
Yeah.
Well, math insofar as 4 is a bigger number than 3, you know?
Like Pokemon math, I guess.
Which, by the way, Florida educated. Like, that's all you need.
Yeah. So she, yeah. So anyway, he doesn't want to play Hearthstone.
Yes. Oh, right, Joe. Yes, Joe. We were helping Joe. I just untagged his email as if we did anything. Joe, what do you do when you're on the road?
I wonder if, Justin, how much of your on the road time, I guess you worked mainly day gigs, whereas the majority of mine were night.
I mean, 50-50. I would say that probably more than that. I would say like 70-30 day gigs to night gigs, but there were plenty of night gigs.
Well, and so what would you do in the off time? I mean, you know, in the later years, we both, you know, we're always streaming or doing social media stuff. Or
I'm, you know, the biggest thing for me, I guess, if I were to simplify it, I would say find a hobby. Because like my hobby was internet or blogging or something like that. Like I never had time that I needed to fill that I couldn't fill doing something that I wanted to do. And that was crucial to me being on the road, was that when I was there and I would do a gig, I would then have to go podcast or I would then have to go write a blog. Now that often happened while I was doing other things like sitting at a bar or bullshitting, but it wasn't just empty drifting at a bar.
I have to go back to, I would say, my last 5 to 10 years of being on the road. Increasingly, there was family obligations, there was podcasting obligations, there was work to be done or whatever. But in the early, I don't know, 10 to 12 years, my favorite thing, what I knew is that I was being given a gift, even if it didn't feel like being given a gift when you're in, you know, podunk, you know, Seattle suburb or what have you. I knew that there would be a time in the future that I would perceive it as a gift. So I would ask always, like, what is a local beer? This is before the microbrew revolution, when it was, you know, it was a big deal to know what Yangling Lager was, which is, I know that's hard to believe, but it's like, you know, having that before it even came down to Florida, before they ever started expanding, back when everybody in Pennsylvania only called it lager or whatever. When I was in Nebraska, I remember passing Carhenge on the way to the gig and be like, well, I got to go see that. And went on the way back, you know, made sure to go there. So basically, make yourself a gift, because there will probably be a time that you're not traveling so much. And you'll be really proud of all of that racked up menagerie of crazy memories of local things. And those will be great to access down the road, especially, to be honest, one of my favorite periods was when I said, where is the diviest of dive bars? And there was, for example, in Portland, Oregon, there was a hotel bar that this would have been maybe 2003 or so. There was a hotel bar that clearly was made in 1982 and had never been updated. And eventually it was so embarrassingly out of date that before it was quite ready to be cool to be retro 80s, they announced that they were retro 80s, but they were just that uncanny valley between authentic way out of it 80s and retro 80s. And I go back to that bar. They had an animatronic disco duck on a stage, complete with a neon sign that said disco duck behind him.
There we go. All right, and we're announcing the live show. I don't even know what the bar is, but Brian and I will be there tomorrow. No. I mean, like, honestly, the answer is, if you ever think of, well, you want to know what's across the street or down the block or 10 minutes away or a half hour away, it's always worth it.
Yes.
Always. In hindsight, you would I always miss the ones I didn't go to. I treasure the ones I did go to, and to add on to Brian's, like, just go to the dive bar. Man, I was in New Orleans and I found this dive bar that was just a pile of shit on a stick, and like within 30 minutes, this dude who was a Satanist CrossFit instructor got kicked out of the bar for being too unruly. And I was like, well, this was worth the walk. Like, this was worth it. It was worth it to be here, to say I was here. And now here I am making content telling you that I did that thing. Indeed it was, and indeed it will be for you, my friend.
We got some people in the chat asking if we're still talking about doing an Austin live show. Yeah, I want very much to do a VIP kind of a Founders Day picnic thing here at the property. But I think we need a call to action, and if people are interested, Bryce, should they email me or you or?
So we did that last week. We got about 7 emails of people saying that they were interested. So
Okay.
it was good to get some response to that.
That's a start.
I guess they can keep sending in emails
to what, mail at nightattack.tv or?
Sure.
How about this? We know the weekend, right?
April 4th and 5th, I believe.
Yes.
April 4th and 5th. This is either going to happen or it's not. If you would like it to happen, then now's the time to email, because this is not just us. I mean, again, we're going off schedule. Like, normally people are in town for South by. This would mean people kind of moving it into a later part of South by, but also spending a day out on the compound. So if that is some shit that you are into, like, I'm going to let you know right now, the email you send either as you're watching this live or as you are listening to this on your phone, if this is something you're interested in, do it now, because if you don't, I mean, it may not happen.
Yeah.
Like, and by may not, I mean it won't. like we need to know.
We're a little bit down to the wire on time here. So if we're gonna make this happen, then we need to see it. But that's part of why we want to make it more VIP, because we're not publicly giving out our address. We're not really open for anything. But man, oh man, if you guys were part of the VIP thing last time, it is. I cannot wait for everybody to see just how much has changed over the last year.
Yeah, I wonder if people know that we're looking. This would be a VIP only sort of thing? Question mark. Is that?
Yeah.
What we're talking, because people I think may not have understood, maybe not have caught that.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Is we can't accommodate 500 people here, but we can accommodate 100 people here, and we can cater if we all kick in like VIP price. I guess loosely in my mind, running the numbers, it's like, man, if we get 100 people who want to kick in $100, then at that point we could fly in friends of the show. We could do a little, a few podcasts, have some barbecue, have a whole day picnic, and have it be real special, real inside. Cool. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Mail at nightattack.tv is that email address. MAIL.
Scoop Gray, who flew all the way from Australia to check it out, says the 7 acre Schwood is legit.
Yep.
And that was before we had like plumbing.
That's right. All right. So thank you to everyone who's sent in their emails. Send them one more time. Mail at nightattack.tv, and we'll read them at the end of the show, which is what this segment is. It's the end of the show.
Yeah, man. What did we learn, Justin?
Well, we learned that Tom Sawyer's not debating.
We learned that apparently a cat's face looks an awful lot like a cat's butthole.
We learned that there is one man who delivered the coup de grace to a moonroof of a Civic.
We learned that there are truly surprises left on the internet when somebody boops the wrong boop.
And we learned that you should email mail@nightattack.tv if you want to come out to this, awesome inauguration show there at the 7 acre Schwood.
Goddamn right, dude. We love you guys. We will see you next Tuesday.
Die in a fire.
Oh, who's the bit boss?
Congratulations to Scoop Gray with 1,400 bits. They are our bit boss.
Hells yeah, man. Cutthroat game tonight. Good job, folks.
Night attack, night attack, night attack, night attack, night attack, night attack. I love you.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.